Hello, folks. Papa D here, coming to you from David Dillard Space here in Central Florida. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Beautiful Saturday evening here in Florida. A little windy and a little bit cloud covered, which is the concern for this evening. There we go. Would be helpful. The cameras are right. But we're here tonight. We're going to be hopefully watching another launch, SpaceX launch. It's going to be the Galileo FQC mission. It's FM25 and 27. And a lot going on tonight. Not a little bit to talk about before we get to the launch. But just wanted to go over the basic information about the launch tonight, of course, as we usually do. And this is a little bit different flight because this evening we are not going to be recovering the Stage 1 booster. And for those of us that follow these boosters and kind of make it our business to know all about them, and you almost get to be where they're like family, this one is not going to be recovered because the mission, which is launching a pair of satellites for the Galileo constellation. And this is for the ESU. It's a two-satellite mission. And unfortunately, all the propellant that's on board Stage 1 will be needed to get this payload to a elevated orbit, and because of that, there will not be enough either extra or anything left that would allow the booster to be recovered. So we are going to be seeing, hopefully, at T0, a launch which would be the 20th. And again, this is the second booster that's hit the 20 booster launch milestone in the last 2 weeks. We were able to see 1062, I believe. Checking all my notes here. But the launch tonight is going to be Booster 1060. And this is its 20th flight. It's a 35-day turnaround. And Booster 1062 also has 20 launches and recoveries under its belt. One of the more notable ones was 2 launches ago when it was utilized. Again, this is not the booster this evening. This is 1062. 1062 actually had a number of notable launches, but 1060, the launch for this evening, was used to launch the Intuitive Machines IM-1 mission back in February, which was the lunar lander that landed in sort of sideways and thumped and landed on its side. Still had a successful payload, had a successful mission. But this booster this evening was the same booster that lifted that mission to orbit. Unfortunately, this will end with launch 20 and a total of 19 landings. Sad to say, but it is what it is. The launch this evening, make sure I get all the information out to you. Launch this evening is out of Kennedy Space Center, about an hour from us here. Pad 39A will be the launch pad, and T0 is scheduled for 8:34 this evening. Right now, that would put us out about 23 minutes. So we should be right on track. Everything right now is looking to be on track and on time for T0. The only thing we've got going for us, and if you were in earlier, I was running the maps. Let me bring one of those up, bring them up real quick. But you can see a lot of cloud cover right now in Florida, and particularly over the Merritt Island region, which is where the blue dot is. That's where the Space Center and the Space Force complex is located. We also have some wind issues Winds are still holding, but they are gusting. We have had a windy day here in Central Florida, and the winds are blowing straight on the coast, straight out of the east. So it's a little windy, and going back over to the forecast, this comes from the 45th Weather Squadron. We've got a 25% chance of breaching the primary concerns of the cloud rule, thick cloud layers rule, and liftoff winds, all of which right now you could see that we are experiencing. All righty. So at this point in time, SpaceX is planning on going live at 8:19 local time. So we expect that in about 6 minutes or so. Just want to take a second to thank everyone before we get too deep in and hopefully transfer over to the feed. Again, thanking SpaceX first and foremost for providing the feed out to the public, allowing folks like myself to bring this, educate the public, have you all enjoy and experience what we're doing right now and what is going on in commercial spaceflight. It's an exciting time. We got a lot going on, a lot of launches. The cadence is getting crazy. It changes around a lot, but we've got a whole lot going off very soon, and we're also looking forward to another Starship launch here in a few weeks. We've got coming up next week the my goodness, we've got so many going off. We've got the first manned flight of Boeing's manned ship. So there's just a whole lot going on right now, and we're looking forward to trying to carry as much of that as we can and bring it to you. That's that. All right. Wanted to also thank meteoblue. They allowed us to provide, and they continue to allow us to provide y'all with the weather data, the weather maps. That's all a big help, especially on a night like this when we've got a good chance of some issues. We're able to track those and bring those to you. Thanking our subscribers, thanking the new subscribers. If you're not a subscriber yet, feel free to check around. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Like the videos, watch them. We are doing really well getting the word out and getting the channel to grow. We're excited to bring as much coverage to as many people as we can, and it's getting better and better as the weeks go by. So thank you to all the subscribers and all the new subscribers coming through. Like I say, like those videos, hit the notify button. We'll make sure you find out when we have something new going up, and we'll bring that to you, notify you of that so we can bring it to you. That's kind of the recap for this evening. The big thing, two big issues, weather and the fact that we will not be watching a recovery this evening. And, again, for good reasons, by plan. A couple little notable things here. Normal launch for SpaceX, a Falcon 9 launch, they always estimate between $65 and $67 million cost. Tonight's launch is running at about $197 million, I believe is the last number I saw. It's about 3 times a normal Falcon 9 because the need to utilize the extra fuel that would come through and be used for the landing. Now the rocket has to be expended. A rocket, 9 engines, perfectly good engines have to take a drink going to the Atlantic Ocean. So a little bit of cost factor on this. Also, this launch originally was slated to be, let me get my notes on that because it was kind of an interesting fact that I wasn't totally aware of. Originally, it was planned these payloads would be taken to orbit by a Soyuz rocket. That was scrapped due to all the things going on geopolitically, all that's going on in the world. So that was scrapped. Then that moved over to where a Ariane 6 was supposed to take it up, and that ran into problems due to delays. So SpaceX stepped in and actually picked up the manifest and picked up the picked up the job. So they're taking care of things. SpaceX certainly amazing, and I think right now they're providing in the upper 90% of payload to orbit, kilograms to orbit right now, and that'll only increase as Starship comes online. So at this point, again, congratulations to all the folks out at SpaceX. Again, a little bit of a little apprehension, but we're excited for another hopefully on-time launch and a nice delivery to orbit. But we have a member of or hopefully will have a member of the 20 Launch Club that will not be coming back for a 20th landing and 21st mission. And one final note before I switch over to standby for the feed. SpaceX is also currently working. Go take it back here a step. If you remember back to when the Falcon 9 came on board, it was originally slated to have a working qualified life of 10 launches. And we were excited to know that a rocket that could land and be reused 10 times was amazing. Then we saw it creeping up, and they were able to get it certified to reuse. They were reusing the rockets over and over. We've got rockets that, in this case, we've got 2, hopefully as of tonight, that'll have 20 launches. They are in the process of recertifying and qualifying the Falcon 9 for 40 launches. And they hope to do that relatively soon. So that would allow them to reuse these many, many more times on certainly other NASA missions. Insurance costs would be very good because they've got the experience and they've got those requalified. So we've gone from having a rocket that a number of years ago nobody was sure what was going to happen. Then we found a rocket that can do 10 launches, and now we're looking at 20 and possibly 40. So a lot of big things going on over there, and very exciting to watch. So what we're going to do, we're going to stand by here just briefly. We are expecting to get the feed shortly here, and we will bring that to you as soon as it comes through. Again, thank you all for coming through and spending your Saturday night, a little bit of it here with Papa D. We do appreciate it. The channel is growing. It's exciting, and we are looking forward to just doing some bigger things later in the year, and give you a little update on that when we come back after the launch. But again, we'll stand by right now, and we'll bring you that feed here just momentarily. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. We are looking right now to go live here in about a minute, and everything seems to be a go for the time being. As soon as we get the chance to put the feed through, have a better idea of how we're looking leading into the last 10 minutes or so of the countdown. But we are still go for the Galileo mission this evening at a T0 estimated at 8:34 Central Time from the Kennedy Space Center, Launch Pad 39A. And we'll be hopefully pulling that feed here just momentarily. Thank you.
stage, which has a single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine that ignites after the first stage separates.
Stage 1, RP1 load complete.
There is the RP1 load complete on stage 1. And again, the second stage on top of that first stage is what will carry today's payload into orbit. And located above that second stage is the payload fairing at 17 feet in diameter. The carbon composite fairing protects satellites on their way to orbit and is jettisoned approximately 3 minutes into flight. The fairing halves supporting today's mission are both flight proven, with both flying for their 4th time. This mission also marks the 200th mission to use flight-proven fairings. Now, after separation from the second stage, both fairing halves will return to Earth and will be recovered by our recovery vessel, Bob. We are a little over 5.5 minutes away from liftoff, and at this point in the countdown, we are waiting for the clamp arms to begin opening up beneath the fairing, and for the transporter erector to begin to retract away from the vehicle in preparation for liftoff. You might notice that since we are not attempting to recover the first stage, you will see that the landing legs and grid fins are not installed on this particular booster. Now we are waiting.
Pressurizing for strong back retract.
You heard that call out. We have begun pressurizing for strong back retraction, and we are waiting for those clamp arms below the fairing to begin to open in preparation for the strong back to lean away from Falcon 9.
Strong back retract has started.
That's the call out for the strong back retraction sequence starting. And you'll see those clamp arms right below the Falcon 9 fairing begin to slowly open here. There you can see those clamp arms slowly opening up. And in just a few moments here, that truss structure next to the Falcon 9 will begin to slowly recline in preparation for liftoff. There you can see the strongback slowly leaning back from Falcon 9. Now both the first and second stages of Falcon 9 are nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen. Now both the first and second stages should finish loading propellant about a minute apart from each other, and the first stage should be wrapping up in just a few seconds here at T-minus 3 minutes, with the second stage following at about a minute after that at T-minus 2 minutes.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
There is that call out for Stage 1 LOX loading complete, with Stage 2 following at T-minus 2 minutes. And at T-minus 60 seconds, Falcon 9 will be in startup, and this means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers will have taken over the launch countdown, and just inside of T-minus 2 seconds, we will light the Merlin 1D engines for liftoff. Now the vehicle continues to be healthy, and the Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues. Weather is green, and the range is ready to support a liftoff at 8:34 p.m. Eastern Time. We do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time if we don't lift off as scheduled today for any reason.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
There is that call out for Stage 2 liquid oxygen loading complete. We are now fully loaded with over 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen and kerosene propellant on Falcon 9 first and second stages. Again, that white cloud you see on the left of your screen is normal and expected. It is venting from the transporter erector liquid oxygen line. Now, this next major event will happen in just about 30 seconds, where Falcon 9 will go into
Ground gas
startup.
closeout.
And that is when the internal flight computers of Falcon 9 will take over the countdown. Preparation for launch.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup. The first and second stages are pressurizing for launch, and we're waiting for that final go from the launch director.
Countdown Falcon and Galileo, go for launch.
You heard that final go for launch from the launch director. All systems are go for a launch of Falcon 9 and Galileo L12.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Galileo.
All right, folks, we do have liftoff. Of the Galileo mission on booster 1060 for the last time.
And when the chamber pressure is nominal.
As the commentator spoke about earlier, there are no grid fins, there is no landing gear, and booster 1060 is now lit for the final time and will be end of mission after main engine cutoff and stage separation.
Power and
Make
telemetry
its final
nominal.
return to Earth and will be disposed of in the Atlantic.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 39A and throttled down in preparation for max Q in just about 10 seconds here.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Now, Falcon 9 is supersonic and heading into max Q, which is the highest amount of aerodynamic pressure that it sees during ascent.
Max Q.
There is that call out for max Q. Falcon 9 has just passed through the maximum period of aerodynamic pressure. Now, with that call out, we have 3 events coming up in quick succession, starting with main engine cutoff, or MECO, followed by stage separation and SES1, or second engine startup 1. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 of the M1D engines on the first stage will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, which is where the first stage, second stage separate from each other, with the second stage continuing to second engine startup 1. And this is where that single MVAC engine of the second stage will light up and propel the second stage to orbit. Now, in addition to these 3 major events, the fairing halves will separate less than a minute after second engine startup 1. So keep an eye out for all of these events coming up in just a few seconds here. Now, as a reminder, we are not attempting to land our first stage today, as our mission requires more performance, so it will use up the fuel typically reserved for landing to complete the mission. We will also not have any stage 2 views of separation at the request of our customer, but we should see main engine cutoff and stage separation in just a few seconds here.
MECO. Stage separation confirmed.
There was main engine
MVAC
cutoff
ignition.
and stage separation, and you heard that call out for second engine startup of our MVAC engine. And we are expecting to hear that call out for fairing separation in just a few seconds here. It should be in about 30 seconds. Again, we will be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves once they fall back down to Earth using our recovery ship Bob. Again, we are waiting for fairing separation. We won't have live views of that, but we will get the call out from Mission Control that you see on your screen.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There was that confirmation for fairing separation, and with that, that will bring today's webcast to a close. Be sure to keep an eye out for updates from our customer regarding their payload deployment and more. If you're interested in more launch coverage, be sure to check spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. Today's mission marked SpaceX's 337th overall mission to date and 42nd mission of this year. To put all of these launches into perspective, we're signing off today with a fun visual of all of our launches and landings to date. Again, congrats on this booster for its 20th flight. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, folks. Well, we had another on time and picture-perfect takeoff of the Galileo mission. Again, that was a top of booster 1060, and unfortunately, its career will end with 20 launches and 19 recoveries. They will not be recovering, as the commentator spoke about and as I spoke about earlier. The additional fuel that was necessary is the reserve that is used normally for the landing, and that was used to gain the additional performance that would get the payload to the desired orbit. Of course, the client did not want to show anything, so we lost our view. But we do appreciate SpaceX providing us with that footage, allowing us to be able to share that with you. But with that, it looks like everything went to specs, and you can follow further information out on X or on social media from the European Space Agency, the EU, who is the owner and contractor for this payload. And the only thing we'll be getting recovered tonight, Bob will be recovering the fairings, at least that $6 million for the fairings that SpaceX will be able to recover and bring back. So at this point, again, thank you to SpaceX. Thank you to meteoblue for the data, the maps. Thank you to the subscribers. Thank you to new subscribers. If you feel like it was something you enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe. We'd like you to view and share and like those videos as much as possible so we can get the channel continue to grow and get more people involved in what we think is probably the most exciting time in certainly in space travel and commercial space that we have ever seen and could imagine. And we'll try to bring you as much of that as we possibly can. And we'll certainly endeavor to do some more of the live launches from the Cape coming up here, with the cadence being the way it is. There'll be plenty of opportunity to share some of that with you. So with that, we'll say congratulations to SpaceX. We say thank you to Booster 1060 for your service. And we now have Booster 1062, who's still the holder of the 20 launch and landing record. We'll be looking for its next mission. And any further information that comes up, we'll certainly pass that along to you with respect to that and the missions coming up. Feel free to go to the channel. Feel free to hit the notify button on any of the missions, and we'll be able to notify you when we go live or bring additional videos out. So, folks, thank you from this evening from Central Florida. Thanks again, and we look forward to the next launch. I believe that is going to be coming up tomorrow. I believe we have a Starlink launch going out of, might be Vandenberg. Well, looks like we got 654 coming out of the Cape. Changes by the day, it seems. So we'll be back here tomorrow. Like I said, feel free to check the channel. Notifies will get you notified as soon as we go live. Thanks again, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Please be safe. We'll see you back here real soon.